show! From Michael Bay to Marvel, UK and everyone all in between. Breaking news and toy reviews, every robot fan's wet dream. Grab a brew and join the crew, become part of our scene. Bring your mom, let's drink her on, make sure you're at least 18. Welcome to the show, the party and Hasbro. Friday nights, let's go, Transformers the show.
And welcome back. I'm just going to add Brad.
Whoa,
Brad,
that was
took him off
close.
yourself there.
Press log in and
Well-
it went like, "Look, you're out."
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. Maybe it's because you're too beautiful, Brad, and some safety measure came into play. Well, welcome to Transformers the Show, episode 270. We've got a lot of stuff planned for tonight. Basically, we're going to be looking at news, which is going to feature the missing link of potentially Ultra Magnus and Grimlock. We've got some Blokees. We've always got Blokees now, but looking into Transformers 1 Blokees in the new champion class, which is basically classic class. They've got both names in the box as not to confuse you. That's Soundwave, Shockwave, and Ironhide. Also, we're going to be looking at our top Transformers of the year we have bought this year so far. Not which came out this year, just in case you've got, people out there who are a bit annoying, like, I don't know, a certain moth person who I do not want to name. Also, we will be discussing, should Hasbro, like they do with the Transformer cartoons, which you put up on YouTube, should they do the same with the comics? Make it free for people to read. Should there be a page, a resource of old Transformer comics, like the Marvel UK comics, which I always think is some of the best out there, and even IDW and Dreamwave? Should they have them up on a website, which people could then look at and read at their leisure? And we've also got other discussions as well. So, looking at the news with Pete.
Here we go. Oh, you thrown me off. You didn't play the intro. It's fine.
I have to do that. No, we have to do the intro. The intro must be done. And I also forgot to introduce Virtual Dave. Because Brad threw me off, why he was, I don't know why he got chucked off.
I jog some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
Shall we introduce the boys, or should we just plow on? Virtual Dave and Brad's on.
I did. Did I not introduce them, or did I forget?
Still, they're only off a week. That's all that matters. Coming to us via Reddit, our first real images of Devastator and his opening and closing hands. Now that we've got Mixmaster and Scavenger on the
I
table
think it's
for
good,
release.
personally, Pete. I think it's about time people with one legs are represented in the Transformers community. I think this is good going forward.
And obviously that's what Hasbro were looking for. There's nothing more menacing than a one-legged Devastator. It's what the film was missing. But no, the colours are looking good.
It's probably someone not very happy with that joke, probably hoping mad. Not so
Anyway,
bad.
moving on.
It's quite a deliberate elimination of Scrapper there, isn't it? Like, it's just you're not having him. He's gonna. We've got one, but we're not putting him on because you can't have the whole thing yet. Sorry, to make you go back. It's like you're not having it.
That's fine.
I was just thinking the next picture, one leg again. It's almost like this. It's like the universe is saying this is what we want. One-legged Transformers.
AI can fix it. Put like one of the Chuckle Brothers on his leg or something.
Hopefully the dead one. You don't want to use a live one. That'd be a bit of a pity, wouldn't it?
Wow, potato.
Anyway, Mark Clonus has shown some images on his Instagram. Praise be to Mark. Has shown images of Alchemist Prime. He always does this just before it comes into retail to show how good the bot is going to be. I really like him. I genuinely am looking forward to get him. His Ulmo looks quite cool. Quite a fun little. I like his face. He just
Didn't
looks like that.
the other day? Sorry.
Good. No, go on.
Didn't you confirm the other day that he's kind of roughly based on Thew? He said something, or Thew posted.
Yeah, there was something. Yeah, there were. Yeah,
based on what's the guy from the oil play?
McAdams.
No,
McAdams?
McAdams. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. He's loosely based on it or something like that.
He just looks like your crazy uncle, doesn't he?
He does. Not the muggy uncle.
No,
No.
the cray. Yeah, he looks. I mean, visible feet syndrome. That's pretty savage, isn't it?
It's
That.
brutal.
Let's just. We're just
Give it a good old zoom. Really like it.
They are his feet. However, he does look pretty. I don't know. Is it his walking stick? Is it his crotch?
It's like a really weird pair of bifocals, isn't it?
I wonder if that's what they're meant to be.
Some sort of magnifying device. It doesn't look particularly vicious with it, does he?
No.
Here are my lens. Unless he magnifies the sun through it, he can seriously burn some ants up or something.
It does look like the glasses you get at the opticians where they're like number 1, number 2.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know because I've got good eyesight, so sorry.
40 vision. So anyway, look, this I don't think this will be too long now. Probably I'd say towards the end of May. I'm not in the know, but I would say when Mark's sharing images, it appears in retail not long after. So if you're getting it, it looks quite good. If you're not getting it, I'm sure you can if you fancy it. And that's it. Shared by on Badu, Flashbat. I apologise. Flashbat seems like it's already turning up in Canada along with Vortex. Now, exciting news, obviously, about Alchemist Prime, but Vortex looks absolutely, as the kids say, sick. It genuinely looks. I'm skipping past. Look, we've seen him already. However, Vortex, it's almost quite a toony face, maybe.
Yeah.
Looks exceptional. Anybody picking him up?
Yeah, already pre-ordered. Yeah, definitely. He's got chuck the combiners our way. What's a Russian gunship doing here?
Shots fired, Mick. Shots fired.
I wonder if there was like a 25% increase in the price because of the tariffs.
Bit early, isn't it?
For politics.
Do you know what? The world's going to go to shit eventually. Let's just put the price up now. And picture in the instructions. Look, they found a way to do the combiners now, haven't they? Certainly with the Legacy Lineage of Primes, it's going to be very, very mimicky. I mean, it's almost as if they're going to use Blast Off as the other arm.
Can't wait for that.
Heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Transformers the show. Breaking insights.
Blast Off's going to come with a little Katy Perry now as well.
Keeping it topical. Yeah, just in case you weren't sure how it was going to move so it can flex at the elbow, it comes into 2. Missing link. This is the exciting bit of the news this week. And it's worth stating that this is a rumor at the moment. A reliable, can you say a reliable leaker without it sounding weird?
Let it sound weird.
Yeah.
We're all past 40 now, yeah?
Yeah.
We're used to that kind of thing. Sorry, Andrew.
So just looking at my notes,
I envy you.
on on Badu, it looks like Grimlock and Ultra Magnus. Ultra Magnus probably isn't the surprise. What with Missing Link Prime, it's not going to probably take that much to build his armor when you've already got, you know, the Prime that you just need to paint white. But Grimlock is the one we've always wanted, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. This is the articulated bot you never knew you wanted or needed. No real details yet, no prototypes, no real detail other than Cybertron International, Invincible Titan, letting us know on Badu. But let's hope it's real, and let's hope it's coming. Let's hope. Zhuang Fenton, please be right. Please be right.
Is that
So what
another
can I say?
dinosaur shelf to complete, though?
Yes, but I don't think you can ever have enough dinosaur shelves, especially robot dinosaurs.
Fair point.
Just in case you didn't have enough photos of Vortex in the news, here we are. Vortex adopting the Jean-Claude Van Damme stance from Kickboxer. Or was it Bloodsport? One of them. Basically, testing the flexibility, but it's quite cool because they this user Supernova from I think it was Badu again, checking his notes, talking amongst yourselves. It's compared it against Combiner Wars Vortex, and whilst I do love the colours of Combiner Wars, Vortex, sick, looks bloody amazing. Does it not?
Was the Unite
This
Warriors
was on
Vortex
shared on
well
TFW 2005. So again, mate.
Unite Warriors Vortex was well different, wasn't it? I don't remember owning that one. I'm sure I had Unite Warriors. I definitely remember that yellow and purple combination, but the red is just jarring.
This was the Hasbro one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, helicopter mode. We all know we're all going to be storing our Combaticons in their vehicle mode. So here they are in helicopters. Right, now strap in, because this is a very wordy explanation, ladies and gentlemen. TF Wild, Toys R Us in Japan have updated images and details of their exclusive Transformers Wild King Lightning Shield and Sword set. Now this looks very familiar to the Fall of Cybertron Grimlock sword and shield set that came with it. In order to promote the new Transformers Wild King collection and anime, selected Toys R Us Japan stores will offer a limited giveaway of a Lightning Shield and Lightning Sword set. They are clear plastic versions of the Grimlock from Fall of Cybertron to redeem the weapons. Go on, mate.
It's a bit like what they used to do back in Unicron Trilogy times, when they had like the clear like Minicon giveaway deals and the Energon weapons and stuff like that. I don't think they've done this for a long time, have they?
You need to spend 5,000 yen on Wild King products. I don't know how much 5,000 yen is.
That's about 35 quid.
And the set is limited to 3,000 units. So if you're in Japan, get in there quick. So they come in a variety of colors: blue, red, and green. We've seen a yellow. Yeah, definitely pushing the Wild King line. So It looks like the yellow one is available at Toys R Us. The aqua is available at Ideon Toy Stores. The flame one is available at Yamada Denki, and the grass, which I can only assume is the green one, is available at Yoshin Kidsland.
Aren't they just War for Cybertron Grimlock's weapons?
Yes,
I thought so. Yeah.
yes, just made in a different color plastic.
All the Pokemon cartridge colors.
Have spared zero expense. For all the vinyl collectors out there, this has come out of nowhere. So we have a new listing and images of the Transformers the movie original soundtrack, Unicron marbled vinyl. It's a repress of the G1 soundtrack with a Unicron themed marbled vinyl. I mean, I was looking at the pictures. I don't know what that means other than the gold, because it doesn't look like there's a Unicron like image or anything. I don't know if it's made out of Unicron. I would suggest not, because Unicron wasn't real. So I don't know. Can anyone see anything on it? I don't know. All of your favorites, songs. Limited edition of 4,000 individually numbered copies. Again, they've accentuated, because it's in block capitals, Unicron marbled vinyl. It's going to retail for about 28 euros. So what's that? About 25 quid.
Fiver.
And will be released around May time. But again, I don't know what makes this Unicron. Yeah. And I've only got bog standard 2020 vision, and I can't see
It's a stretch, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a stretch.
I mean, if they just put Unicron on the label, anyway.
It's like
You
a
think
face.
They would have made it Unicron, like actual design, like printed it blue and yellow.
Yeah.
Like he's
And his
turned
chonky
into a
bit.
However, looking at it, did get the nostalgic feels. I've got no interest in records or vinyl. Will I get it if I get the opportunity? Yes, I will. Because why would you not? Why would you not? And that is Mainline. Just hang on a second.
Battle this.
It's heavy metal cruncher time as Optimus Prime goes toe to toe with Combat Megatron. Prime is one tough dude underneath his hood. He's a transformer missile fun phenomenon. Combat Megatron is combat armed. His mighty mega missiles are slamming. He can mad out more for use mega force, but Combat Optimus is still standing.
Bear with, it's taking its time to open.
I haven't got anything to share yet, so
Shared me. Right, go for gold. Right. Big Mac. BIG01.
who do
Now,
you think
it's
it could
probably
be?
fair to say they have highlighted. Well, I appreciate that the face probably puts you off, but BIG, the OG, the DOG, has mentioned that the face isn't actually Fortress Maximus's. I weren't sure if you were aware, but yeah, that's not Fortress Maximus's face. I don't know why they've tried to put you off. Like you've probably got 752 millimeters of obvious Fortress Maximus. However, it's fine. We think it is Fortress Maximus. Now, I measured this earlier. It is a lot bigger than the Tyson's Return Fort Max. So it's probably more in line with the G1 size. 29.9 inches tall. quite substantial, and he looks quite good. I personally will not be getting it because I've got one Fortress Max, and I don't feel like I need another one. But is this of interest to anybody in the chat? Any of my fellow hosts?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I mean, I'm very tempted by it in general just because of the city mode, more than anything. And I've given up hope that Fans Toys will release theirs. So,
do you live in a mansion, Dave?
No, but I mean, I like to dream. You know, I think that.
I just like, I love the city mode, and that's the space I need the space to display it in said mode.
Yeah, why not? Put all your legends on it.
You've got a cat's lair.
That doesn't.
Very cool. Yeah, look, it looks cool. It'd be quite interesting to see the prototypes in hand, but it will go quite nicely with the legends from Bring Me My Head. I think it will probably go quite nicely with, as if by magic, DX9 are doing some legend headmasters. So here they are with the latest offering, which is a Brainstorm. They've gone to town really with the naming, and they've called it Mini 03. So Mini 03 is aka Brainstorm. They don't want to give anything away, playing their cards quite close to the chest, but it looks quite cool.
Yeah, I like that lean that the headmaster was doing in the last picture. It was like a lean in, like, you what?
Smooth criminal.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed by the name because the last one, Chrome Dome, was called Michael Murphy. So I was just expecting them all to have like some sort of 80s name. Like this.
Yes, no. Unless they come out with one, but no. So it looks like it's got the Japanese cartoon head, not the one from the Rebirth. It looks very Lego.
It does, doesn't it?
I will let you.
Like old fans project.
Yeah. Could have bought the design, but looks quite cool. And if you're getting, it's probably just out of scale a little bit, isn't it? It's just probably a bit too small, or Fort Max is just a little bit on the big side. That's what she said. More pictures of Brainstorm. Looks quite cool. I might wait till they've all released and have a punt. The Chrome Dome looks quite cool. You can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a crazy scientist. This has piqued my interest, and hopefully it will have piqued some of yours as well. I wonder if these are going to be out of order, because I didn't. So this is New Age David. I don't know why he's called David. However, it's New Age David based on the Energon Universe Prime from Skybound Comics. The Prime mold is an exceptional mold, and the colors they've used from the comics. And there are more photos, but I didn't rename those. I didn't rename those ones, so they're all out of order now. So moving swiftly on, we are now going on to Dr. Wu. Dr. Wu Wu. And can you tell what it is? We're going to play the game. Can you tell who this is? No. Okay, I'll tell you. It's their version of Devastator. How do I know that? Because they're releasing
what is
Cyber
this?
Crane and Cyber Dump Truck. Say what you see, ladies and gentlemen. Say what you see. Yeah, another Devastator. This one will fit in your pocket. So, anybody collect Dr. Wu?
Nope.
You know, Borders collects Doctor Wu. I know. I've got to ask them, haven't I? Because we need to show Doctor Wu some love. So I've asked. No one does. Let's move on. Another Devastator is what we need.
Oh,
DX9 Sideswipe, this time in animation colors. This is their version 2. I didn't pick up version 1. I'm glad I didn't, because these new colors are exceptional. They are pant tightening and they are very, very arousing. It shows in a second the difference between version 1 and version 2. There is in the back shot, very tidy. Look, where's the kibble?
neat,
Where?
neat.
Uwe le kibble. There is no kibble. So the first edition, okay, right. First edition had sparkly headlights. Second edition has white headlights. First edition has silver feet. Second edition has white slip-on loafers. And then a white gun. And some white arms by the looks of it. Which they're probably, first edition was an off-white, where the second edition is white. I don't know. I prefer the second edition. The second edition is the edition that I will be buying. Is anybody else thinking about getting this?
It's tempting.
It's very nice. Though. It
Okay,
is
good.
lovely.
I wish we'd rehearsed before we went live, gentlemen.
Who wants it?
All modes. Can you spot the difference? That's what I should have done. We should have played Spot the Difference.
Should have with little circly things on the
Yeah,
different.
just the headlights from the back.
Oh,
Oh, see,
that's quite a big difference, isn't it? That's like the difference between a pack of Ferrero Rocher and just 2 Ferrero Rocher out of the wrapper.
where they just have it. It's a factory defect where they've just been released pre-wrap.
Like or like fake Ferrero Rocher. Like no one makes a pyramid out of Ferrero Rocher. You can't do it, can you? Remember that guy walking around with the silver platter offering them to that guy's guests?
Oh, Mr. Ambassador, you are spoiling us.
Yeah, this is that. But like, there's no way they made that pyramid. Those second lights are way better. I can't even.
DX9, if you can do a pyramid, contact us.
Ferrero Rocher.
Ferrero Rocher. And then he's got his pile driver hammers from the, was it Ruby Mines of Burma or whatever it was. Vans Hobby Metal Hook. Now this is looking tasty. I believe these are the first color prototypes we're starting to see. It looks,
Wow.
yeah, tidy, bang, tidy.
Oh, look at that face.
I'm quite. I don't know. Victory did pass me by. I haven't got a lot of interest, but this does look pretty cool.
What kind of yellow would you call that? Would you call it like a beige mustard?
Beige mustard.
Yeah.
Is that a genuine color? Beige mustard.
It's official Dulux.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Say it convincing enough, people will believe you. It's very. I don't know. It's got a tinge of gold to it, though, isn't it?
It does. It's like beige mustard Rocher.
Beige mustard Rocher. Can I have a can of your finest Rocher paint, please? So, because I'm an idiot, these are the rest of the New Age Prime photos. So again, modelled on the Energon Universe colours from the Skybound comics, which is an excellent read. If you're not reading it, can't recommend it highly enough. It looks amazing. I haven't got a New Age Prime yet. New Age being the fans' toys of the Legends world. It's a quality it will be a quality toy. It does look pretty cool. I don't know. It just they're flogging. I just feel like people are flogging the Megatron arm to death now. Not flogging Prime to death with Megatron's arm, but just.
Does this transform? Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it does. Yeah. Is it?
Yeah. I showed it like an hour.
Oh, that was at the start. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right, mate. Don't highlight it.
I made a stupid
Don't be a
comment
dick about it. All right. Yeah. Bloody Ferrero Rocher. Where am I? Looks quite good. I think I'll be getting it. So TFN news: a Mega Lock will be retailing at TFN. So if you buy from a Mega Lock, the internet would be probably quite cool to visit them at TFN. And some TF UK news. So pre-orders are up now for the TF UK t-shirt, available in green and grey. I don't want to say black. £20, as you can tell. Cheers theme, designed by Lucan's Tees. You can get them at Lucan's Facebook page. There are also still TF UK tickets available, but they are selling fast. They are approaching capacity very soon. So if you're on the fence about going, don't wait to make your mind up. Get the ticket and then make your mind up closer to it. And if you weren't aware, Transformers the Show will be providing the Friday night entertainment. We don't know what that will be yet, but we have bought some baby oil from Temu. So there is a plan. There is a plan in the works. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the news. Thank you for bearing with us.
We now return to the Transformers.
Virtual Dave, Andrew, what have you picked up this week?
Well, you know me, Jamie. I'm always buying toys, and it'd be a long list of figures I picked up this week. But since I went to NEC last weekend, to the toy fair, I did pick up a few random toys here and there.
Yes.
Nothing Transformers related.
No.
Picked up some He-Man figures.
Nice.
From the Netflix series. Not watched it, but I like the designs of the characters from the show. More Power Rangers to add to the collection. This is from Ninja Storm 2005. It was a great year. And this one was pretty interesting to spot, and no one knew what it was. Don't suppose any of you have any idea.
Strong. It's not the latest. It's not the latest sex doll for the small man, is it?
I mean, he is missing his belt, but
slut.
This is
we're all thinking of Pete. Does he say boom? Has he got a little tag he can pull back? He goes boom, boom, boom. No, never mind.
Cow poles kicking in.
20 years ago.
Do you have to fill him up again, or does he come?
I don't know, a BBC program, a CITV type show, and it was a wild time. The early CG for the show, the early 2000s. When I saw it, I was like, yeah, we'll get that.
Sorry, what series is it? Really? What series is it from? Andrew, what series was it from?
It's called Ace Lightning. It's a show where a video game gets struck by lightning and the characters from the game come to life. And it's a kind of Buzz Lightyear situation where they don't understand they're in the real world. And hilarity ensues in America.
I hate when that happens. I hate it.
It's great. That's it.
Oh, is that all? I would have thought you
Is
would have
that
got
all?
more stuff.
With zero judgment in his voice.
I've had to kick him. No, you're still there. I don't understand this new layout. Bad. What have you picked up this week?
But so this is like I'm late to the bus with this. Like my aerial bots still aren't here yet. I actually got so impatient with where I ordered them from. I ordered them from somewhere else because I like to pride myself on being really patient. But like I emailed the shop I ordered the aerial bots from, and I was like, "Any update on these yet?" They're in Smith's. Like I wasn't pissy with him or anything because he's all right, and he was just like, "Nope," and that's the answer I got. So I was all right. Fucking pre-ordered them somewhere else.
Thanks for your help.
Yeah, cheers. I'm gonna go get them somewhere else then. The thing is, I've already paid for them with this one shop.
Oh no!
It's like, am I going to be that guy that cancels, or shall I just wait for them to arrive then and just sell them on eBay? Because I'm going to get retail for them, aren't I? The dilemma, I don't know, but yeah, I've been really impatient, so I ordered one from Smith's and one from Amazon. Do you know what really annoyed me this week though? Like Air Raid was on Smith's, and you couldn't click and collect them in store despite there being 5 in stock. And I went to the store and they didn't even have any Age of the Prime stuff out. I was like, this is rubbish. And we've got 2 Smiths in Cardiff as well. Like I'm spoiled for. Anyways, I just went off on a tangent then about Smiths.
Did you kick off? Did you kick off, Brad? Did you kick off?
You're not allowed to do that in Wales.
It's frowned upon.
That's a cousin's married.
I was just too tired. Just like I'm a 42-year-old man collecting toys. I can't kick off.
You haven't got a...
There was a guy there like who had you know the Smiths like employees. They go up the giant steps that they wheel around. There was a guy up there already looking for air raids and slingshots, and there was a clearly nerdy guy on the floor like directing him. No, not that one. It looks like it might be in that box there. And I was like, I'm not going to bother this guy. I'm not. I was thinking about saying, hey, can you get me one each as well? I'll just go like pre-order them. I don't want to sit in this store. I stay in this store that long while I wait for you to bring aerial bots back because he was clearly miffed. But anyways, we let a spring like 86 Springer, and that was massively underwhelming. But he's nice, isn't he? Like
I like him.
I sold Siege Springer like months ago because I figured if I had Siege Springer at the same time as having this, then I'd be like they're the same thing, and the legs aren't any better. I'd just be like because the legs was the thing I had the problem with, and they're exactly the same as the old one. But he's very pretty.
My version seems okay. I've got 2 versions and they're both fine.
I just don't like the design of the legs. I just remember like the G1 Springer toy. It was perfect. Like all you need to do is miss and link that up. And you've got to and make him look this pretty, and we're good. Like, why does it take like 3 weeks to transform him? Like, he just
completely change it, and it's perfect.
Yeah. What is it with triple changes? Like, just G1 had them all right. All you need to do is put decent limbs on them now. Like, look what happened to Sandstorm's buggy mode. Poor guy. Just you can't get 3 modes right, can you? I tell you, Titan's Return Blitzwing was as close as they're ever going to get. Spring is okay.
I'm picking up there's some negative thoughts about Springer there, Brad. I'm intuitive like that.
It's just like you got him out of the box. I transformed him once into everything, then was just like, just go on the shelf. You could sit there, stand there looking pretty. You do. He does look nice, and he is. Yeah, he's all right.
I do think the face sculpt's improved as well. His jaw's much better. Man. Yeah,
I agree. He's a bit more like kissable now, but like, yeah.
I think what he said, he is kissable now, isn't he? He's kissable.
His eyes, he looks like he's staring into your gums. His eyes.
Has he been upgraded to tongue action, Brad? Or is he just kissable?
He's not worth a Frenchie. Not unless he brings like a pyramid of Ferrero Rocher in. And I was on AliExpress, as all good entrepreneurs are.
Yep.
And like this was down to 16 quid, and I was just like, yeah, I've heard they're okay. I'll give them a go. So I got myself like a nasty KO prowl. Just it actually cost me about 16 quid delivered. It's really nice. It's really good. Yeah, it's lovely. Like I used to have the blue streak. version of this, and like it's a little bit looser, and it doesn't tab in as well. But like for the fraction of the price, this is flipping brilliant. Like it's so good. Like I'm tempted to like get an Ironhide and a wheeljack now, and it might become a thing. But yeah, I don't know. If I see them for cheap, I get them. But 16 quid for Prowl and it being this good and this close to the actual real one, I'm seriously impressed with the knockoff. And look, even the guns have got the nice bit of chrome on them. See, woo, yeah. So yeah, basically the knockoff beats everything official this week. But that's all I got. Like I said, the aerial bots are on their way, and probably another set of aerial bots will be on their way right behind that. Because as soon as they arrive, you know you're going to get that mail notification of this. Like they've dispatched them, they're on their way now, and you're like, just spent 100 quid on two sets of aerial bots that I don't need both sets of. I have to wait for them to sell on eBay, and you can't provide free postage, because if you provide free postage, you're losing money. So they're just going to sit there, aren't they? You may as well just keep all four and have a full Superion
and individual modes.
Yeah. But yeah, I've sat with my cats a bit as well. That was nice.
Crazy cat man.
Well, Pete, what did you pick up this week?
Well, I just want to draw attention to Brandon's comment at 8:40. Looks like Pete 20 years ago. Eyes. I'll see you at TFUKCon, Brandon. Don't forget, son. Right, what did I get this week? I completed pickups. However, in order of what I've enjoyed most. So, picked up a gold bug. Eventually, was it the Creatures Collide box set?
Yes.
I never picked it up. Got a gold bug off eBay, reasonably priced. Someone obviously didn't like it, so I snapped that bad boy up. So that turned up. I picked up wrong way round. The TFOne Classics Blokees. I built Soundwave. Jamie's pictures will do this far better justice, but really enjoyable. Very cool. The blue really pops. Why not check out my video? You're struggling sleeping? All 50 minutes, and I rushed. And however, one of the greatest pickups, not just that I've ever made, but mankind has made in any capacity, went to a car boot sale last Saturday at Moss End Garden Centre in Bracknell. You're probably not familiar with it, but it's a great garden centre. It's got a falconry bit in it as well. But next to the garden centre is a big field, and they have a car boot there every Saturday. And I went with my friend and her daughter, and we're just wandering around. And I always go, I wish I could be that guy that finds some Transformers for a really cheap price. By someone selling them that they don't really know the value of them. And I've never bought anything until now. For 50p, I bought this 150 piece 1984 released Transformers puzzle.
Wow.
This by far is a hidden gem. I haven't built it yet because whilst I am a mid 40-year-old man, I'm not really, not deep down. So I'll build that puzzle maybe when it's raining. Maybe when I was going to go out and play football, but I can't now. And yeah, that's it.
Prime's head on the box. Doesn't he look like he's going, hey guys, let's go and do some fighting?
He's just squinting. He's like, what? Are you?
Yeah, he's like Springer staring into your gums.
It's just his eyes. It's like he's just woken up. Someone's turned the light on, and it's really bright, and he's just like, oh my god. However, he genuinely does have Decepticon punching hands, doesn't he? They are like, yeah, he's going to mess you up. But no, I saw it.
A bit gammy, doesn't it? It looks like a prosthesis.
My claw hand.
Yeah. There was a robot hand, which is kind of the same thing.
It was an old couple selling it. I don't know why they had it. I asked how much it was. They said 50p. I said, how can I not buy a puzzle for 50p?
A scummier person would have haggled them down.
Has he got all the pieces? Probably not. I didn't count them because it is a car boot. However,
did you not demand for them to do the jigsaw there and then?
I genuinely will be absolutely livid if it hasn't got all the pieces.
Did you say that to them? I'll be back.
Yeah. Literally, I'm going to bring my mates. Nicky, but you could do a vlog doing your jigsaw. Do you know what, Nicky? I had thought about doing that actually. Puzzling with Pete.
Yeah.
Puzzling Pete. Pete the puzzle. Pete the puzzle.
Get the alliteration in there.
That's opening a can of worms, isn't it?
Pete's puzzle perfection.
And that is all my pickups this week.
Well, thank you very much for that, Pete and Brad and Virtual Dave. Awesome pickups you've all had. Very jealous. Very jealous. My pickups this week, well, basically, I just wanted to talk about what happened because I've been ill. It's kind of like jet lagged, I feel. 2 weeks back, and I'll basically add this to the stage just now. So I know you've seen these photos before, so tough. You know, you're looking at them again. I do not apologize. Basically, I don't know how to approach this without. I got my pictures I did for Blokees, Transformer Blokees pictures. They were used to make postcards for Transformers Battersea shop, which postcards which she actually sold. And I was there, so I could see them getting sold. And someone actually bought them out of choice, so I was even more impressed, you know. And it was to do with the Blokees event. And I wasn't sure if it was going to happen because they had to get permission from Blokees and to get permission from Hasbro, which they got. And so this was good, and it came in like at the last moment. So Blokees and Hasbro fully agreed to allow this to take place and to put their sort of copyright on it. So I'll go through this sort of quick. There's just some of the photos I've done. Unfortunately, this photo, which was my favorite I didn't make the postcard cut, which is ironic. But yeah, so a lot of these photos were taken, and I think they picked I think 10 to make sort of postcards. And it was such a cool experience. I went to the Blokees event. I went to Transformers Battersea, and to see my stuff there. There's some of the guys there. Some of those real social media influencers in Toys R Us, Sam Formers, and Alfire. Alfire was really quite cool. Actually said a lot of nice stuff to me, so that was really quite touching. There's Mainline there. There's Russ, Sam Formers, and Alfire and stuff. So it was kind of cool. Looking at this sort of Blokees events and seeing some of my stuff as postcards and even put on display as well. And there's a postcard pack there, and it was just that's some Blokees stuff there I got. But there's like, you know, Transformers and Hasbro, all related trademarks and logos, trademarks of Hasbro Inc. Products features on Blokees Galaxy version 06 photography courtesy of StormToyPhotography. And amazing. You know, to have my logo there with Blokees and Hasbro, I honestly, looking back in 2019, when I started out doing this, I would never have thought I would be in that sort of situation, and so that is quite. It was just quite a cool. I'll sort of remove this just now. Sort of like cool sort of experience to sort of see. And it was a good event, and obviously I really liked going to Nando's Chicken afterwards. That was, you know,
Boneless
as far-
thighs.
you know, because this was on Transformers Battersea. Actually took the influencers and myself and Mainline out for a meal. So as far as I was concerned, I'd hit the big time. And Nando's chicken meal, and I just it was just a sort of like cool event, and I was really happy. And I'm just going to see if I could just show you something which I didn't really put behind there. Yeah, come on. Sorry about this. I do apologize. You can see that I'm out of sync just now because I don't normally apologize for anything I do. You know, for some reason I've apologized and I don't know why, but yes. So I'll see if I can just share this thing. So yeah, come on, share. Right. So there, 2019. That was my first picture of Shockwave, and 2024. To see this sort of jump in toy photography. Hopefully you see a jump. Hopefully you observe something. The big difference is obviously the background.
It's far more
being
shrubbery,
used.
isn't it?
Yes, much more green
In the
and
shrubbery.
green stuff. So that was my basically big news to I've officially got my name up or trademark with Hasbro and Blokees, and it's cool. And it's awesome, and I hope other people get to experience that, because I know the UK and the USA and Asia and Europe, it's littered. You only need to go on Instagram really to see the tremendous toy photographers out there, and it's not luck. I think sometimes when we say luck, we do ourselves a disservice. I think when I look at all these toy photographers out there, like, you know, Plastic Crack, Toy Box, Soapbox 6, who have all achieved different stuff anyway already, and numerous other toy photographers, it's because of tenacity. They keep going on and share your content, email your pictures off to different places, even if they don't reply. Just do it once a month and just keep going. And the luck part, if there's any luck, is that some random individual working for Hasbro or some other store will come across it and just think, oh, this photo will match something which we are going to do. And that's maybe where the luck part comes in. You know, no one else is going to. Yes, I just standard pictures, and I just emailed, right? And that's what I've been doing. And most of the time, well, all the time, really, you don't get a reply. It just goes into the ether or ether. And I was lucky that Blokees took a chance on me to send me merchandise in the first place, because I'm not an influencer. I'm not a super fan. I can't even influence my cat to come in at night. I go out chasing her and she runs away. And
Mine's a bastard.
it's
like
an
that as
ordeal.
well.
Yeah,
runs.
you know, and they can
I'm your
hear
friend.
perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And then when you're exhausted and broken and you're staggering back to your house, it just follows you.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel now, yeah. It was all a game, a ruse.
Yes,
Send your photos
I have
off.
won. And again, you have been broken, Jaime. You know, but you know, so yeah, so I would say that's what you should be doing, and look into how. Wait, about 3 years ago, when my cat died, I was taking photos the night before, and I was doing lots of photos, and I basically decided, because I was so tired and I was teaching and I was doing work the next day, I always think to myself, I could have picked up on something if I'd been fully aware instead of being too tired. So I decided there and then in my photos, I was going to cut down to maybe 3 or 4 a week. Instead of trying to do 40 or 20, I'm not going to try to match all these prolific, wonderful toy photographers who do so many and so wonderful. I cut it down, and I wasn't going to aim for them just to be shown in social media, which is easier to do because JPEGs, the resolution goes down. I decided I always wanted to try to make them good as if they're on a big, huge TV screen or monitor, and they're being shared, even if they were going to be printed out. I think that's maybe what you kind of want to aim for. So you have your JPEGs in the original TIFF format, so they don't ever lose any compression or lose any resolution each time you edit it. You want it in a TIFF format or in Photoshop Pro or whatever, you know, and something that doesn't lose every time you edit it, you know, a big, huge file, and have that. So when the chance does arrive, it doesn't, you're not taken aback. You're not thinking, oh, how do I transfer stuff? What format do I do this? Be prepared for that. And I think that's something maybe you should be considering if you want to try to ever take advantage of an opportunity like that, is to be prepared. And you ever need some help or some advice, ask myself, Sixo, Toybox, Soapbox, so many people out there. I mean, Sixo, I mean, the guy's got like 28,000 followers, and yet people ask him for advice and he takes his time to help them. You know, as I said, there's amazing people out there. Just make sure you to read up on it first, so when they use some big words against you, you actually know what they mean. Because sometimes I've asked advice and then got, I'm a bit lost, I'll come back to you in 2 months' time. I'll need to do some reading up first. But yes, so thank you for that, and sorry for showing you those pictures again. So now to look at some wonderful Blokees. Share screen. And that's a screen. So yes, like Pete, I managed to pick up some Blokees, and these Blokees are classic class, which are now called champion class and classic class. So yes, it's basically, I think they like CC, they just don't know what words to use with them. So it's champion class or classic class, and there's Soundwave, and Soundwave is right. The blue does shine. The light thing is just brilliant. And it looks cool. And there's a few of them there, you know, Soundwave, Shockwave, and Ironhide. And I've got to say, it's nice to have your Decepticons, it's nice to have your Autobots, but Ironhide is really cool. They managed to make Ironhide awesome. I mean, normally Soundwave, you can never go wrong. Soundwave, you know, I don't think there's a bad Soundwave toy out there. Probably maybe there's one or two. But with Ironhide, it's always touch and go. It's easy to do a bad Ironhide toy. And I thought, oh, I'm not too excited for Ironhide. But Ironhide came along, and it's just a brilliant thing. And it's like each time Blokees bring out a new wave, there's improvements. You know, they've got fly joints now on the shoulders. You know, it can really stretch around with that shoulder now to hold the gun. And it's easier to build. Some of the annoying pernickety parts have now been sort of done away with. The figures are even more individualized than ever before. Ironhide comes with a little Optimus Prime vehicle, which is quite cool. I did wish that Soundwave, you know, I did think Soundwave should have came with maybe a Ravage or a Laserbeak or a Buzzsaw or something like that. Would have been just absolutely awesome. But yeah, there's just Ironhide, and he's just got full of character. And you can see that sort of like shoulder coming around and allowing you to get into sort of positions you wouldn't normally get. And I think the thing is with Blokees, Transformer 1 classic class or champion classes like to be called, I think the big thing is they're giving you Transformer 1 figures, which Hasbro really haven't done. Hasbro's only really starting to stagger out the figures kind of now. They've not really moved in with lots of different figures they could have done. You know, we should have been drowning in merchandise, and I think Blokees have been filling those gaps with quality merchandise. And there's Shockwave, you know, with his angry fist motion, you know. And yeah, Shockwave looks sexy. And yes, I fully recommend these. If you want your Transformer 1 merchandise, give Blokees a try. You really can't go wrong with some good old Blokees action. And well, last thing, sorry, this is taking an age. Why the hell am I sharing two screens? Oh, I don't know. So here I got my aerial bots. I hope this is the right one I click on. Nope, it was the wrong one. Yeah, so here I got the aerial bots. I've got to say, I really like Air Raid. Slingshot, I don't know. I don't know if it's because of the bald head, and I'm worried as I get older I'm going to become bald, and maybe it's like, I don't know, it's like a vision of my future. It puts me off. I don't know, or maybe because he's orange, and and he's like, I'm Scottish, and we go that color in the sun. I just don't know. It's just something about him. It kind of puts me off. I also think Slingshot should somehow be a smaller, more annoying, cheeky, chappy type of individual. Air Raid is sex and legs. Air Raid is fantastic. I really like Air Raid. He's just got so much more character, so much options. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, who here's got Slingshot?
Yep. Yeah. No.
Is it the clown feet? I mean, he's got these huge freaking platforms in the back, with these wings at the back. It just makes him look so, I don't know, it's just chunky and stuff. But there they are. They are
orange. He'd be better, James.
Yeah.
Like, is the orange just too isolated on the face? And is his face like too much? It's like his face is like, it's all orange. You've just got an orange face. Like, traffic never knows what to do when you're around.
I think this is when we wanted some of the legacy magic, when they used it more like a guideline and changed certain stuff just to make it better. I mean, you look at the thighs here. The upper thighs are black plastic. They didn't use white plastic. They could have did that, and it would have been more true to the characters. So obviously, they do some little bit differences when it suits them. So I think they could have did a little bit something different there with Slingshot. Although, I mean, I've got to say that Slingshot does have an awesome playing mode, and the transformations are easy.
Yeah,
I honestly thought about doing a video for the first time of transforming completely, because I thought, I can do this. This is easy. This is my level, unaided. And then I thought, it's that easy. Why would anyone need to watch a video to transform Slingshot and Air Raid? So I thought, it's a recipe for disaster. Another thing I got this week is from Blokees, which I think is a big thank you just for using my photos. Was a sort of Blokees sort of gold set thing, as well. So I was really quite chuffed with that, and quite pleased and quite touched. So I'm happy with that. Yeah, so that's enough about me. I'm sorry for going on there far too long. I'm oh God, I'm really. It's only Easter and I've said God's name in vain. Well done, Jamie. You're doing so well. Insulted Christians, got in politics, messed it up. Hasbro would never want to work with me again. They're probably watching this show saying, take him out, but not for the mood. So yes, that was some pickups, and we're not doing socials this week. We're taking a little break from socials to build up all that wonderful, talented entrepreneurship there, and we're moving straight into foreplay.
Lynn, these are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. Don't think you want to join in.
So, top 5 bots, and I think we should start off with Pete. What's your favourite bot of this year so far?
I think the favourite bot I've experienced so far is Masterpiece Prime. Masterpiece Power Master Prime. He is exceptional. I think we're going to be in for a treat this year with the bots that are going to be available, whether it be mainline or third party, but so far Power Master Prime has been my pick of the bunch. I think we've cried out for a Power Master Prime. Third party have attacked it with Hans Hobby and stuff, and they did it, was it Master Bomber, or I can't remember the name now, but that was exceptional, very comic accurate. But this one, mainline from Takara, it's just an exceptional toy. It's so fun to play with, so poseable, so much character. They did such a good job. I think we've wanted it for so long, or I'll rephrase it. Okay, I can't speak for everyone else. I've wanted it for so long. You almost put it on a pedestal before you get it, that it's going to be amazing, and you get it and you hope it's going to be as good as you wanted and as good as you thought it was going to be, and this really is. Well worth the money. I think it's just an exceptional toy, and I genuinely love it. So for me, Super God Jinrai, or his official Master Force name, an exceptional toy.
I wish you looked at me like that, Pete.
I do. I
Do you
just
wish
hide.
you- Do you wish he held you like that as well? You know, with the hand firmly on the back, and
To be honest, it's probably in scale, so you know we could try it.
you think we should do
See
that?
if you
next
shake
week?
on.
You can go to Pete's house next week and he can lift you up. What have you picked up this week? Well,
I picked up a Brad.
Now, I'm sure I can. No, I'm not going to stop now. Actually, I'm gonna stop. Yeah, it's definitely going to stop there. So, oh God, I need to stop. No, I just. Well,
It makes him horny.
Come on, let it out.
well,
Let it out, James.
I mean, it could be horny for someone. I don't know.
We're on a roll.
I mean, is fisting a bad word these days? I don't know. I mean, he used it in He-Man cartoon.
It's kind of
you know?
it's kind of standard issue verb nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, what was it Fistel said? I was fisting away He-Man, and I just, I don't know. I mean, your fist needs to go somewhere again. But anyway, Brad, what's your top bot of the year?
Not that there's loads of choice so far this year, because the aerial bots haven't. No, I don't. I've gone for Armada Wheeljack because as soon as this guy showed up, and we all knew what it was going to be, and I kind of, you know, when you just expect something to arrive and you just kind of I'm going to chuck it on the shelf because I've already got 17 versions of this mold. Like with the Seekers, it doesn't count, does it? Because the Seekers are kind of like, yeah, we're going to keep pumping them out and you're going to buy them. And we know what's going to happen. Like Sideswipe's a bit like, they've just been kind of like, do you want another Sideswipe? Yeah, okay, there you go. Have another Sideswipe. We've got this Sideswipe. Have another Sideswipe. Do you want to play with that? Yeah, okay. We've got this one, which we know you know that it's Armada Sideswipe, Armada Wheeljack. But we're going to put this one out first with the Minicon. Do you want that one? Yeah, okay. And then we're going to put out Armada Wheeljack without the Minicon, but coloured correctly. And everyone, I was kind of expecting to go, yeah, okay. At this point, just cheers. I'll just take it. I'll just put it on the shelf over there.
Do you
And
think
everything will
that's
be
an
all right.
act of genius that Hasbro could start releasing toys in different molds, like say Optimus Prime mold, and call it Ratchet?
Yeah, it kind
And
of
then
works,
release a
doesn't it?
Ratchet mold and call it Brawn. Just screw with the fandom and just bring out other molds like Cosmos mold, the Flying Saucer,
Yeah.
and call that Jazz. And
chuck it
just
to
see
her.
how the fandom reacts. Just
It was weird because he was always meant to be based on Sideswipe because he always had Sideswipe's head. But when it came out and I got it, I was like, and I've got like the Rampage version of this from Micron Densets or whatever it's called, which
Yeah.
I always, because it doesn't look like a cheese hoarding Ferrari. But like, yeah, when I got it in hand, I was like, I don't really want to put it straight on the shelf. This is a thing that I've waited a long time for. It feels nice. The mold is kind of, yeah, it's aged well, hasn't it?
yes.
It's really, really good Transformer. And to have it in Armada Wheeljack colors, I don't know why I like Armada so much. Maybe it's because everyone used to hate it so much when I first started collecting. Everyone was like, "Brah, Armada's rubbish. The toys are for children." It's like, hang on, what? So I've always had a soft spot for Armada, and just to have an Armada Wheeljack in modern techie wacky good mold. Look at his face; it's gold. Yeah, I like it a lot. This is the one thing I've bought this year out of probably 4 things that have arrived that I haven't really put. He goes on the shelf, he comes back up. Goes on the shelf, he comes back off. Yeah, he's definitely Armada Wheeljack. Well,
Well, thank you for that, Brad. I'm just going to go next. my choice of the Transformer of the year so far is I've not actually opened my Super Jinrai, which I got cheaper than Pete.
No, you didn't. I think you buy £2.60.
I got it cheaper, but probably by just.
Oh no,
about
hang on,
£2.60.
£2.61. £2.61. That's what it was.
Yeah, and with that £2.61, I was able to go into Tesco and buy so many Watsits. It was amazing. Bacon flavored Watsits as well.
Do you find you can't eat Watsits with your fingers because there's too much residue? Like you've got to kind of drink them from the pack because otherwise
It's like a horse bag.
The next hour, doesn't it? You're like and you wash your hands, even if you use like the really good soap, and then you end up with some grease somewhere, and you have to drink Watsits. Is where I'm getting at. Flipping Watsits.
No, I have perfected my eating of Watsits after lots of over these 25 years of going out with Mainline. I perfected eating Watsits to eat it in a way which annoys her. As much as you can. So when we're watching something on Netflix or something or some, and I'll have my Watsits and I like to go, it's like a little rabbit, on a carrot, so I don't just put it in my mouth and go, and I go, and she just looks at me and it's like, and every bite is worth it, with that look of hate.
The ninth wonder of the world is how she hasn't murdered you.
Yeah,
obviously I have to wear a napkin because when you're going there, it's like a lot of saw machines. Some of the stuff,
you can touch her face while your fingers are covered in cheese residue. Then,
well, I like to touch the remote, and then she just gets infuriated, and she goes and gets some wipes and starts cleaning the remote and go, yeah.
And then
they genuinely are the most offensive. They're the most offensive crisps. What's it?
They are.
I think.
Yeah.
They leave a lot of trail.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
It makes them brilliant, isn't it? Yeah. Not like your Pringles. Yeah.
I'm never offended by anything other than Watsits. Or Twiglets.
Yeah. They leave a lot of like stain, don't they? Essentially.
Yeah. And the smell. It's like baby, regurgitated baby milk. Once you smell it once, you feel like you smell it all everywhere. Like you can sense people eating Twiglets from a mile away. Weeks on end. I feel like it's PTSD. How do we get on to talking about this? Let's move on.
Well, my bot of the year is basically vested Megatronius. And I don't know if it's because he's evil, an evil, powerful bot, but I don't know. I just feel a camaraderie with him, a kingship, which you don't have with other toys. Because some of the other toys you have, they always represent goody two shoes, don't they? And you often think sometimes it is easier to be evil and bad, and and sometimes we want the easy options in life, don't we? And Megatronius gives you that, and that's why. And plus, whatever you say about evil people or evil organizations and cartoons and programs and movies and stuff like that, like Darth Vader, they definitely dress well, don't they? I mean, you can't say that with the good guys all the time or the heroes. I mean, Luke dressed like a peasant, didn't he? And then when he got a bit evil, he started to dress better. Did you notice that? When Luke got darker, he started to dress better. And I often think, I don't know. I'm just saying, if someone's dressed really well, watch out for that individual because they might be evil. But that is my theory anyway. People who dress well are not good people. So there's Megatronius.
Sweeping statement.
Well, I like to think I provided my evidence in a logical, precise manner, and we can't possibly argue against it. So there it goes. Megatronius, I don't know what she's doing there. Didn't she get murdered by Megatronius? But yes, Megatronius is my bot of the year. Virtual Dave, what is your bot of the year so far?
My favorite bot of the year so far is Yellow Park Starscream.
Nice.
surprisingly, for a figure that took ages to come out, it is actually probably the best Yolo Park figure they've done for this AMK series. And it's just like, it's kind of bittersweet because Yolo Park has gone very quiet in what they're releasing. And I do fear that it will just be Thundercracker and Skywarp over the next 3 years. Like, it's been very slow dripping for this line. I know Bumblebee's coming, but after that, goodness knows. But it's so good. Like, it's so solid. Like, it gives the Blokees engineering a bit of run for its money, because all the other ones are a bit wishy-washy in how good the quality is, all the build is, but this one is solid, and I love its accessories. So this has been my favorite. Yeah.
Have you got the other characters, or is that the first one you've got?
I've got Prime, Megatron, somewhere behind me, and I've got a few of the Transformers 1 versions as well.
Have they do you think they've improved as they've gone along? Because obviously we've said that Blokees, every wave that comes out, they move on a little bit. Has Yolo Park been the same, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is the higher end version of what they do with the lights and the die cast and painted with like, they use like a dry brushing technique on it to make it look more metal. Yeah, they've definitely they've improved, and the style is it's stylized, but it's like one of the versions of the G1s I really like, where it's a bit of realism, stuck in there. But
yeah, because
I just want more. This is the problem. I want more of it. I want a Soundwave. I want
I mean, the thing about Yolo Park is they were talking about bringing out this sort of clean cartoon coloured versions, weren't they?
They're
Without
doing
this
that
sort
as
of,
well. Yes.
And that was talked about last year, and then nothing seems to have happened. Where it seems to me, when I know we talk about Blokees a lot, and God forbid that attractive men like ourselves should have hobbies, but Blokees seem to show something, and then it seems to be released within about a month or sooner. Or sometimes they show something, it's released within a week, and they're trying to do that while localizing their merchandise for different countries. Because I think we had an episode where we discussed about how it's good to look at the stats and do characters have descriptions, and tech readouts, and Blokees have done that, and and they do it for the country or the region they're releasing that product. So they might have in certain other languages, but the main language takes the priority. So I thought that's quite cool and quite interesting, and it probably explains why Blokees are quite staggered. How it could be out in Asia, then about 2 months later it'll be released. But then with some Blokees, like the Champion Classic class stuff, that's came out almost at the same time everywhere. And that is quite cool.
It's just crazy.
Quite at least.
Yolo Park kind of was the first ones to the market with the Rise of the Beast.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
And they were everywhere, and they're still doing some Rise of the Beast stuff, but they did do those mini ones for a little bit, and then they've stopped. I think because Blokees is obviously like, well, we're doing it better. So, I don't know.
Is that the danger?
I mean, it's the Transformers' unfortunate cycle, isn't it? Do one thing, everyone does it.
Well, yeah, but I think you're right. I think you're right. And Yolo Park were the first of the party, so which means they're there to be shot at. And if they're then still taking the time to go to market and release the new characters, they're going to get left behind, because Blokees can fire. I mean, look, all the Blokees stuff is built. It's just ready to roll, isn't it? It's just they've just got release gates as we go along. Is Yolo Park able to manufacture as quick? I'd have said probably not.
I think one thing is we probably don't realize, as much as we might read the internet, we probably don't realize how big these companies are in Asia. And I think Blokees is quite huge. It's almost as big as Lego, if not, they say bigger than Lego in Asia. so they've been quite established. And
they're
I think
expanding to so many other licenses as well. Like it's
you
can tell.
And I think because
You
the
got Sesame
Pokemon
Street,
license, Sesame Street, isn't it? And they made it look cool. Somehow they managed to do that,
Yeah.
But yeah, they're getting everywhere. Maybe they'll be doing GoBots, and that'll be their downfall. We can only worry about that. But now we've done our top 5 bots. Obviously the winner. I don't know who should be who. What did people think? What choice was your favorite? I've got to say I'm kind of torn. Actually, to be quite honest, I quite like Brad, Andrew, and Pete's options. I think they're good. Usually it's always someone who picks something that's a bit rubbish, and that might have just been me. That sucks. Everyone else's choices were really good. But now for discussion time. And discussion is basically we've got a couple of discussions coming up. And feel free to ask a question on the chat if you've got something. We can always have time because we're all quite busy people. We will look into it. But the big discussion is on Transformers, Hasbro Pulse. On Hasbro Pulse or Hasbro YouTube, you'll find the release of Transformer episodes, which are quite cool. People are able to do that. And Hasbro have done it with G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe. And I've done it with other sort of IPs as well. So people can actually go on YouTube and legally watch the episodes without having some police force breaking down your door or something like that. Should they be releasing the comics, the old Marvel comics, Marvel UK comics, and maybe Dreamwave and maybe some old IDW, which I've been on humble deals like before, which was like you pay £1 and you get all the issues of IDW. Should they release them on a web page where people could just log on, or not even log on? In fact, logging on is a bad idea. Just free access, and people from school, because libraries have obviously been underfunded, and there's lots of reasons. Anyone with internet access can go on there and just basically read all these wonderful content, all these wonderful comics. That's our discussion. Should Hasbro be doing this?
Well,
I was going to say I think it's a great idea. They should, because isn't there like something that Marvel does with all of its comics like that, like some sort of, I think it's a subscription service, and like you can have access to all the Marvel universe in comic form. And I think even like you get like a Hasbro figure every year for being part of the subscription or something. So, I mean,
my idea is to avoid any type of money being made out of this. It's more like giving back to the community.
I think the challenge, yes, they should. Yes, they should. That's I think it's two questions, isn't it? Is that would it be a good idea? Yes, it would be an exceptional idea. Because the written media that we've been spoilt with in Transformers has been exceptional for many years from the beginning. I think the reality is they won't, for that very reason, because it has been exceptional and it still carries a value, however small. I mean, we've just had the Kickstarter from the Skybound compendium, haven't we? It shows that there is still a financial value with that media that's spanned nearly 40 years. So they won't, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't. But I think as well, when we compare it against the shows that they've got up on YouTube, I think the way people ingest media now is very different. The shows are up on YouTube because, I mean, who even has DVDs anymore? I'm sure you can still buy, the series is on Prime or something like that, but you won't because they're available. And I wonder, is that because they recognise that there's no financial gain with the with the cartoons, regardless of the cartoon, Prime, G1, Armada. No one watches Armada though, to be fair.
No, I don't either. To be fair,
but I think it's a bit bittersweet, isn't it? Really, because you look at what they say that the Kickstarter raised like $2 million or something, like
crazy
within days.
Yeah,
the Skybang
so there is still an appetite for it. That written media. So it would get read if it was released for free. It would get read, but they're not releasing it for free because it will get read. So it kind of it's that cycle, isn't it?
Do you think it would work if there was like a cut-off point? Of how old the stuff should be to be on that platform online? Because the Skybound stuff's all recently new, so I mean G1 and Unicron Trilogy should be all right. That's a good chunk of time.
Well, that's what they've done, isn't it? With them buying the license, they've done a deal with Hasbro that they will release this with a Skybound stamp on it.
Sorry, what were you going to say, Brad?
I was going to say, is there like a revenue stream there for like the artists, especially from like the early Dreamwave stuff and the IDW stuff, like EJ Sue and like Andrew Wildman, and would they still get royalties on things that are released that they've drawn? So if they're giving away for free, you're taking away that kind of revenue stream to the artist. I don't know if that's the case or not. They might have already been paid for the work and that's that, but they might. I don't know if that would be the case. But obviously, IDW, IDW and like Dreamwave don't exist anymore, do they?
Yeah, I mean, some of the artists didn't even get paid originally by Dreamwave. I think it would. No. I think the fandom would, if Hasbro were to do this and maybe ask for donations, but we're still going to do it no matter what. I think the fandom would donate, and maybe a lot of these artists could get something out of that fund. For that, I don't know the loyalties, and to be honest, I didn't even consider that. And it's not because I don't respect the artists or the writers or etc. It's because I guess the way I was looking at it is I was looking at it on a way the UK and the West used to be way back in the 90s when the internet first came out. Comics were on there for people to see because people scanned them. There were scan sites. They will refer to themselves as different. Depending on what style of scanning they did, there would be a scan site and people could read all the comics. And it was to make up for people because you didn't have internet. You can order online and stuff. There wasn't really anything like that, but you could read up the comics you missed out on. But I would also say it's because at that time, the West was very keen on using internet to send information free to places like Poland, any place behind the Iron Curtain, any place which they deemed was not a democracy or was in danger of maybe losing democracy or was a poor country and maybe was under influence from certain countries they didn't like, they would be giving those countries, computer games, wouldn't they? Be playing them for the radio waves so people could record it. They would be given comics and movies, you name it, to these places to give them an idea of Western culture. And I often think that just because the Cold War came to an end, but that kind of stuff really shouldn't have stopped because when they were trying to help these other countries, they're also helping poor people in their own countries. And you can look at that for the history of the people behind the Witcher 3 games. You could look at it from comic artists who came up, but they didn't have access to be able to buy the comics, but they got it through other means, or they got to see games or TV or movies through other means. And I think sometimes we're so heavy-handed to take that type of access away from people or to slate them or attack them, especially on the internet, where people might say, oh, I can't get these comics, but I can download them from internet sites for free. And this person might live in Honduras or somewhere like that, and then that person will be stamped on and attacked by maybe artists or etc. And I don't think they take into consideration that sometimes it's about sharing art without being too convoluted. It's about sharing art and realizing, you know, sometimes that's a really good thing because you're going to be lifting people up. It's still part of social mobility. And Hasbro doing this with comics, it's almost like I don't know, I don't want to use this analogy, so I don't want to use it, so I'm not going to say it, but it's almost like going to the school gates and introducing children to some new cool sweets and giving them this access for nothing. And you're doing this with comics, and you're going to maybe be building up a future clientele when they're older and they have their own money.
It does have legs. It probably doesn't have legs now, does it? If they'd run the Kickstarter and it hadn't raised any funds, that would have probably been the next logical step. Because why are they keeping it under wraps? If people aren't willing to pay for it, then there isn't much perceived value in it. But even I was, I mean, £2 million or dollars, that's almost what I spent on the Hatchet books that are now completely defunct because I want the Kickstarter compendium, and why do I want another version of the same comics? But they're a beast, aren't they? You know, and if they've got to stick the cartoons on a series on a server, they might as well stick it on YouTube.
Without sounding convoluted, going to a big explanation again, once the Kickstarter has been fully funded and everyone gets it, and within a week Hasbro could then go, and all those digital files which we gave you, we're going to put up for free to say a big thank you to the fandom, and that's it. And they can just do that, you know, because now they don't have a reason to hold on to it, because it's not like they can do a Kickstarter every 2 months, is there? You know, a new Kickstarter would be released everything again.
That'll definitely that'll build their longevity as a business.
No, yeah.
Once we've mugged you off.
Yeah.
But would it be mugging off, or would it
of course
be
it would. Shut up. Don't be a tart.
I don't.
You can't charge the fandom X amount of pounds, and it's probably 2 million and rising. And then once they paid it and the checks have cleared, go, you know what you paid for? We're going to give it away for free anyway. That's not the way to build a sustainable business.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm benevolent. I would just feel that would be quite a cool thing to give back to.
Of course it would.
People.
It'd be really cool if Hasbro just sent us all the Transformers we loved rather than making us pay for them. But it's not going to happen.
I think like the best you could probably hope for is like a QR code on toy boxes that when you scan it, it will take you to a site. So the purchase is of you buying the figure, and it's somewhere in the box where it's not like you can just scan it without buying it, and you would then be able to have access to this website. The only problem I see was that it's a region problem, obviously, because different places have different laws, different languages. So the website would have to be quite advanced to sort all that out, but it's doable. I mean, it's like, if Hasbro will want to make some money from it, no way they would do it for free though. There's going to be some sort of loophole of where they're going to get some sort of revenue from it, because it will cost them to make this glorious website that will have access to everything. So,
yeah. or even to that point, Andrew, where you can purchase X amount of comics for what you could purchase a Marvel comic for back in the day when it was released, 50p or something, because you bought the toy and that's giving you the code, and you go onto the website and you get 10 issues for £1 or something. That's if you've got the internet to be able to read these things, and you've bought the toy, there's still that revenue stream. I think you make a really good point, in terms of, because Hasbro wants to sell toys. They don't sell toys to sell comics. They sell the comics to sell the toys kind of thing, and that's the way it's always. Well, that's the way it's always worked. So that in itself, use the toy as the gateway into the comics, and make them more accessible there. See you, Brad.
Oh God, I need to fix that. I just look at I just remember the internet when it first started. I was there. I was a progenitor, like we all are, really, basically, and we're progenitor Transformer fans as well. And I think sometimes I do worry about sometimes we've absorbed some culture from other places where we no longer want to give something out for free and not expect anything in return. And I think sometimes businesses used to be kind of had that sort of attitude as well. And as I said before, we talk about the cartoons, and Pete, you gave an excellent reason why they've done that. It's not like people have got DVDs; they probably don't say how they would make money giving out the cartoons. There is just a win-win-win. But with comics, it's a different type of merchandise. Digital format. There's so many people are reading on their Kindles, comics, etc., on their tablets. So there's still a revenue to be made. I just think when I look at the way libraries are getting underfunded, these kids seem to be losing out in so many ways now. But maybe Hasbro, if they were to do a subscription service, maybe they would do it to countries, like the UK education system. So kids at school could log on and could read comic books provided by the UK and Hasbro, and it's the kids are not paying anything. The education system is, and the education system sort of basically is losing money to so many advisors and stuff, which it doesn't need, because you can stop reinventing the wheel. That money might be better spent on libraries instead, digital libraries, which kids could access. And it's so much money getting wasted in education. It's unreal. And I think that would be cool. And America could do the same. And I think when you think about that, when you think about how medications work and how there'll be and countries can access different medications much cheaper, medication funds, there could be a library fund for that. So you could have different countries like Colombia, etc. I don't want to name countries because I don't want to insult them as if to say they're poor, but countries which have a very difficult economic hardships, and even within the USA, because even though we talk about UK, where they could have a subscription either free or paid by the UN, and they could go into the educational website, so it might encourage kids to go to schools in these countries and log on, because not everyone's going to have access to the internet or a computer, and they could go to these schools and then they could read these comics, and they could be localized as well, so it'll provide work for translators in those countries. So, and they could have the English versions as well, so it encourage your kids to learn another language. And I think if you start looking at that type of approach, because I think maybe a subscription idea is probably the only way it would probably work, but it's put towards countries rather than individuals or educational departments, where charities can step in. I think that might be an answer to that. And after the Kickstarter is funded and people have got it, because it take a cold-hearted person to deny children in Honduras access to some Marvel comics because you just paid for your Kickstarter.
Stop. If you went and paid £100 for a toy and then it was on sale for 20 quid the following week, you'd go batshit. So shut up. Yes, you fucking would.
We uploaded
Yes, you
the
would.
files for HasLab Unicron the next day. Like, it would be crazy.
Yeah.
But isn't that a Western mentality, which is a small part of the planet? I know I'm doing this because I've had this very discussion with some Disney artists, and they try to gank me on Twitter. I mean, I got dogpiled on, because they seen me some communist, socialist, which I thought was kind of weird, because these people were meant to be woke, and I thought this is the ultimate woke. but apparently Americans have different definition of what happens when it comes to poor people, and I mean, they really piled on me, and then I think they overstepped. So I had them blocked and they blocked me, then they unblocked me, and then I thought, oh, it's a trick. I'm not going to play that game. So, but yes, I have been in these discussions before, but I was doing it from an educational point of view, and I do think it's an idea we should sort of maybe push forward at some point. Maybe I'll start a campaign. Maybe that'll be my next thing. Now I've done this toy photography malark and I've conquered that. I'll start that as my new campaign. I'd be laughed out, but this could be the start of something great. Transformer charity comics.
It's the education route is not impossible. I mean, like stuff like Minecraft is used in schools for like creative writing, and they used to get kids to like describe what they wanted to do through the video games. And like, I mean, if you could swing it, that you could use it in maybe like art class or something to really have a different idea of different art styles and where different inspiration comes from for things. I mean, it's possible.
It's genius, because if there's one comic on this entire universe, and that's Other Dimensions, which has different art styles within the one comic, even within the one page, it's Transformers. I would argue there's not other comics out there where the art style will vastly change from page to page, but with Transformers it does. Especially the original Transformers UK. I feel like in the original Transformers UK Marvel, we were used to the art styles changing from page to page, if not panel to panel, and it was like a rite of passage. We were like born in the trenches of comic reading.
Do you know what? I got Transformers comics in my classroom. Kids like them.
There you go.
I got a couple of old Dreamwaves and a little bit of IDW in there as well. Yeah, they read them. A couple of random issues I think I got in a charity shop. But yeah. And maybe
and they would get read. Yeah. Why would anyone? Yeah, why would?
That's just it. That's just it for punishment. You got to read this.
Virgin on Bullion. And perhaps that's the saddest thing with the whole thing is the fact that they would get read. You know, and that's. But it ain't gonna happen while they got value. No chance.
I mean, I think you're onto something, Jamie. I think if someone could really,
you know why I'm onto something, Virtual Dave? It's because I'm a genius. That's why.
Hasbro is going through this flux of they want to get new fans in, and the best way to do that is influence the kids who, you know, saw Transformers 1 and were disappointed that there was no toys to buy. So they will have some sort of something to keep them thinking about Transformers, in between what they decide to do with live action films for Transformers going forward. I think it's something that could work. It's just
I mean, joking aside, in trying to be humble, I think it's something that could be worked on, and I think is different avenues of approach. And I think, like you guys said, if you could make it somehow, Hasbro's doing something. I mean, Hasbro was trying to go very green at one point, wasn't it, with its packaging? Then it realized, you know what, people weren't very keen on us being green. We're going back to the old-fashioned way of doing packaging and protecting the toys. I think if it comes to like kudos, I think this could be something amazing which can change the lives of so many children around the planet. And I say, and I'm talking about Hasbro, but if Hasbro steps up and does something that with its IP, it's only going to win. In a sense, it's going to create a bigger fan base. It's going to, you look at the reading age of the UK, old UK Transformer comics, it's immense. It's going to improve the reading age. It's going to give access. Other IPs, other companies might follow suit with the old comics out there. Marvel and DC might follow suit. As I said, a subscription-based process involving the education departments of different countries. And an education sort of for poorer countries to allow them to access as well. And as I said before, localization can come into play, and that would create an industry, hopefully, and maybe encourage artists from countries we never even considered producing wonderful art, and creating writers from these different places. Because I think sometimes with everything being centralized now because of the internet, but sometimes you take away that talent which used to be out there, and maybe that'll bring that back. So I know it might be a bit jokingly, and I know a lot of people are probably not interested in something like this, but you know, it's something I have thought about before, and I think it's an idea worth pursuing. All it takes is for someone to sort of drive forward with it.
But will you ever be able to download a Milky Bar?
Well, you can download the instructions to make a Milky Bar, can't you?
But like a physical Milky Bar.
Will it taste the same?
It might taste a bit like irony, or like phosphorusy, you know.
Why did you pick Milky Bar and not? Because when you said Milky Bar, I thought to myself, surely you must mean a Milky Way.
No,
Like, no,
Milky Bar. Milky Bar. Milky Boy chocolate is like where it's at.
Yeah.
But that's
Well,
not
that-
milk
like-
chocolate,
like-
is it?
Whoa.
Hang on, no, this isn't.
Yeah,
It's a different-
I'm just saying,
Rocky
I'm
Ground,
just saying,
son.
the one
Right.
country who pushed white chocolate is Kinder Surprise, and that's Germany. Are we trying to say we should be? I don't know. I just.
What a time to end the show. Good night, everybody.
I just think there's so many different chocolates and sweets we could pick. I would like to download a chicken korma personally. I don't know if I would want to go for milky.
Would it include a naan bread?
Of course.
We're talking- yeah.
I'm not a savage.
Real deal.
Have a naan bread with cereal. I don't need an excuse to have a naan bread.
and I mean the big naan bread. None of this crap stuff you get in Tesco. I mean the big huge naan bread, but it's almost been burnt in an
How
oven.
big is this not? You're doing this. Where do they make naan
I
breads
want,
like this?
I want a naan bread. It's
Think about-
huge. Where someone maybe even nearly died making it in an oven, you know,
That's
because it's
like-
that dangerous.
Think about
When naan
Aladdin
breads
and his
have, like,
magic carpet.
pieces on a mattress. Yeah. You want to ride your naan bread?
I mean,
That'd be a lot of megabyte. That'd be at least 3 gig of naan bread, wouldn't it?
I went to this Indian and
eyeballs.
I went to this Indian restaurant in Glasgow when I was up in Glasgow in December last year. And I went into an Indian restaurant and I went to be like, oh, we're back in Glasgow, the kings of Indian curry. This is the place to get an Indian curry. I'm going to get a massive naan bread. Sat down. They didn't do naan bread. They did some sort of cheese bread version. And I was like, what? Oh, so disappointed.
Did you kick off? I'd have kicked off.
I thought about it. I think they should have like a sign outside, you know, we don't do naan bread, big words, you know, so you don't just walk in there innocently, sit down, look for the menu, because sometimes they call these things different names just to be fancy, you know, but then you find out they don't do it. And you've already made a psychological choice of the other dishes you wanted, so you're kind of stuck. You know,
Stockholm syndrome in a curry house.
Sit down and start reading your naan bread, and they should give these away for free.
Swiss family naan.
Was the curry good though? That's the main question. Like, did you enjoy it?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I was quite a long week and I was out seeing a lot of family, so I was eating at different places, Italian places. I felt really sick actually. I just it wasn't the Indian fault. I think the naan bread or naan gate, as I like to call it, dilemma, really just killed it for me as a meal.
She then got to do with it.
But I don't know. To be honest, the best thing I liked in Glasgow was just a good old fashioned chip shop. I just like getting a good old fashioned chip supper, you know, sausage supper, chicken supper. And they actually knew what it meant, you know, instead of England where you call it chicken meals or sausage meal. I don't understand what you're doing. I just still don't. I've lived here for 25 years and I still don't understand how England worked their chip shop menus. But it was just good to be back in the Scottish, you know, chip shop. Although I've got to say, it's like almost like it's been invaded by Greggs, Glasgow, because every corner there was a Greggs. And sometimes you think you weren't lost. You thought you were still in the same street because there was a Greggs and a Greggs. Then you realise, no, you were actually like 5 miles away. It's just every street had a Greggs in it. It was just like, It's like Greg's, Nando's, KFC. It was just like fast food everywhere, you know. Very clean city. It's because it's always raining, though. So, yeah.
Washing the sausage roll pastry from the gullies.
Well, another shock I had is they don't do snowballs anymore. And Greg's snowballs used to be these cake things, not like your snowballs you'd find in Tesco and stuff, but these snowballs, which was a cake, which was circular, which had like coconut all around it. You know, it was really hard. You know, you could throw it like a bowling, not like you could throw a bowling ball, but if you could, it would be like that. And it was really big and
weird,
solid. What?
Scottish sports are weird.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the Scottish weather's weird, to be honest, as well. You know, but yeah.
I'm allowed to say that because I'm Welsh and everyone thinks we're scum anyway.
I always think about curling, don't you? Like, who invented a sport like that? I mean, being out in the ice is bad enough instead of like trying to balls on it. Never mind curling. I don't like it. Anyway, but anyway, I could understand that though. I could understand that because sometimes you just want to pick up a log and chuck it.
There's an inconsistency when it comes to a world table though, because like you're never going to get the same tree. There's like bark.
Well,
grip.
it didn't start off as a tree. It's a Scottish thing, wasn't it? It would have started off as a stick, throwing it for your dog, you know, and then you would have got a bigger and bigger stick until eventually it's a log and say, fetch that.
You need like a bigger and bigger dog. If you're throwing a tree for your dog, then like something's gone wrong, isn't it? Something's evolved past the form of making sense.
Well, that's when Scotland's devised a new sport, but it's gone so wrong, it's good. Like golf.
Scotland, massive crufts. Just like crufts in a stadium, just 3 dogs, because that's all they can fit in. If one of them's an Alsatian, they can only get 2 in. Massive King Charles Spaniels. Massive. Just bringing logs in.
Size of a Shire horse.
Throw this for me, please. Half the crowd are like, no.
Using a catapult. I think we've probably found our logical end for this evening.
Yes. I was trying to think if it was some sort of political, religious, or some country we hadn't insulted tonight by accident. I do apologise. I'll have words with Pete afterwards to say this is not on, Pete. But thank you so much for showing up tonight. Thank you for the brave 23 people who survived until the end. And have an awesome weekend and have a good, happy Easter.
Oh, wait.
Just have a happy weekend.
I just want to say that I do think that we should actually point out, because you kind of went over it pretty quickly, that well done, Jamie, on the Blokees thing. Like, it's such a cool achievement. Like, mate, that's really cool.
Banging.
And the advice you gave is really, you know, it's really solid for like people who want to do stuff with the photography. Like, you know, you did a good job.
I am happy to talk about photography until you're scared and you're trying to escape me. And you do run, but you find I'm much faster than I look, and I follow you.
T1000.
Yes. and you wish you hadn't gone down a one-way passageway in the Hilton, and you're stuck. And you still see me coming towards you, and I'll still be talking about toy photography. I'll gladly give any what I've picked up and what I've learned. And as I said before, if it's anything about the Transformers fandom, and I mean the fandom, the whole world out there. I mean, Germany fans, Asia, Singapore, Malaysia, USA, everyone's so friendly. They're so supportive. I remember negative comments have been said to me only because there've been so few. And that's amazing in 5 years. You know, I think I've had 1 negative comment per year, you know, and even then they're not really negative comments. You're just taking them like that, because that's the way social media designs itself. And I think that's a wonderful thing to say about the Transformers fandom, is that there's so many people there who just love Transformers. They love toy photography. They love drawing, art, writing. They love all the different ways that they interact. Look at Pete. Pete's doing his charity run, Mary's Meals. and so many people have been supporting Pete and sponsoring them. And then I think about the YouTube channels which have exploded since we started Transformers the show, and meeting so many people who are now doing reviews or taking photos or shoving up in Twitter. And I think Instagram, hand in heart, is maybe one of the best places to do it, because Instagram is going to support the small creators just as much as it supports the big guys. And you'll find your stuff getting equal showing there, where maybe in other social media platforms you can get drowned out. And I think that's a good testament, again, I think, for the fandom as well, who again are just positive on these type of platforms. But thank you for that, Andrew. See, I called you Andrew there. I'm a bit sentimental there. Have a wonderful weekend, people. And I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm saying sorry. Have a wonderful weekend and see you next week. Bye.